Hello everyone, I am the Enderbrony, and I am reading Letters from a Secret Admirer by Subsolar Drift. Chapter 3. Things Change. The next night. Rainbow Dash whistled a tune as she trotted over to her desk. She glowed with smug success from that day's letter. The look on Twilight's face was so priceless. Dash would give good bits to see the cute way Twilight's mouth just hang open as she read it over and over again. With a contented sigh, she plopped down at her desk and pulled out some paper, ink, and quills, preparing for her night's work. Who would have guessed that I'd actually like writing? Chuckling, Dash fiddled with a quill, not quite ready to work yet. She instead gazed out her window at the setting sun. Dash didn't often watch the sunset. She preferred sleeping. It was almost never worth the sleep it took away. Sleep was important. Sunsets weren't. She only ever saw them when she was up doing something else, like planning a prank, hanging out with her friends, or writing a letter to Twilight. She snorted. It's Twilight, and I'm working on my letters to Twilight. How ionic. She frowned. No, it's not ionic. Is it iconic? No, that doesn't seem right either. Why can I never think of the right word? Dash glowered out the window, silently cursing words and her inability to use them. Shaking off her sour thoughts, Dash turned her attention towards the paper that lay before her. Alrighty, time to get writing. Quill in mouth, she bent down, ready to place her thoughts on the page. There was only one problem. Dash's mind was a blank. Okay, brain, it's time to go. Her brain gave her no ideas. Come on, you've been doing this for a while now. Just do what you always do, she prompted. Still, her mind gave her nothing romantic to write. Fine, I'll just get some inspiration. She opened the bottom drawer of her desk and pulled out some of the books she'd gotten from Canterlot. She stared at the cover of the book and its mocking title, Romance for Fools. No, she decided, putting the book away and shutting the drawer. I'm not going to use that. I've done well enough the last couple of times. I just need to clear my head. With that, she was off, quickly zipping through her home and out into the brisk night air, papers flying around the room in her wake. A soft wind blew in from the Everfree, carrying the sounds of the forest with it. Dash's body relaxed as she flew, letting the stress roll off her and into the night air. She reveled in the peace of the sky and the beauty of the night. She cut through the air without thought, resting her mind and allowing herself to do nothing but enjoy the moment. She flew with neither aim nor goal, simply flying for the sake of flight. Time lost its meaning. Her world became wind, wings, and wonder. She landed on a cloud floating along slowly through the evening air. She walked over to the edge and lay down, looking over the sleeping village below her. There, in the distance, lay Sweet Apple Acres, Fluttershy's cottage, and the Everfree forest. She thought fondly of her friends, and her eyes moved on. There was Carousel Boutique, one light still on even at such a late hour. Dash shook her head, a wry grin on her face. She shifted so she could see the rest of the town, bringing Sugar Cube Corner and the library into view. Her gaze lingered on the dark silhouette of Twilight's home. There, on the library balcony, sat Twilight Sparkle, looking through her telescope and up towards the stars. She had nothing with her, no paper or quills to take notes, nor a star map to guide her. It was her, the telescope, and the stars. Twilight moved her telescope aside and stared at the night sky. Curious, Rainbow Dash looked up, and she let out a gasp of her own. She never really paid that much attention to the stars, but tonight they were incredible. Millions of twinkling lights all laid out, covering the sky. The moon shone down from above, bright and full, illuminating the night. Twilight was bathed in the moonlight, a picture of beauty. Her body was calm and relaxed, and her breathing soft. She seemed to glow in the soft light, capturing every iota of Dash's attention. The Pegasus couldn't look away. Twilight was stunning. Dash leapt from her cloud, silently gliding through the air. She alighted with no noise upon a branch just above the balcony. She had a clear view of the two most beautiful things in Ponyville, the sky and Twilight. Twilight's eyes glimmered, reflecting and absorbing the light from the heavens. They were full of wonder and awe. As Dash watched, a look of pure joy spread across her face. Twilight's eyes were wide, taking in every aspect of the sky that she could. Dash looked up. Through the sky streaked comets, like cuts in the fabric of the sky, letting through the light of something beyond. Dash's jaw fell. Dash had seen nothing of equal beauty in her entire life. The two friends watched the night bask in one of nature's great beauties for hours on end. As all things must, it came to an end. With a yawn, Twilight rose to her hooves, picked the telescope up in her magic, and returned to her room. As soon as Twilight was inside, Dash was off. Words filled her mind as she soared, and she was itching to get to her desk. Dash knew exactly what would be in the next letter to Twilight. The next morning. The sun crept its way over the horizon, its light flooding over Equestria to signal the start of the new day. But Twilight Sparkle was already up. The night before, she had settled down to sleep, but hadn't been able to quite drift off. Questions about her admirer plagued her thoughts. Eventually she had gone out to stargaze, hoping to clear her thoughts. She'd watched the northern lights until she'd come up with a plan. All right, it's time to watch the mail. It wasn't her most creative plan, but sometimes simplicity was the best choice. Whoever is sending these letters has to be delivering them. Without a return address, they wouldn't come through the mail. Satisfied that she'd see her admirer that morning, she lifted her coffee mug to her mouth with her magic, only to be met with none of the wonderful nectar. Twilight's pupils shrunk. Coffee was an integral part of her plan. Without it, she would never have enough energy to watch for the mail. What with the early start and the insomnia from the previous night, she was sure she'd fall asleep. And so the unicorn found herself in a conundrum. She could either stay in her observation post, struggling to stay awake, or she could go back inside, get coffee, and hope in that time the letter wouldn't arrive. It's only a bit past sunrise, she reasoned with herself. Surely they won't come by this early. Having decided that it was safe, Twilight quickly teleported inside and made her coffee. Glad that she never drank it with sugar or cream, she quickly returned outside. Oh, Celestia, please let it not be there, she prayed as she approached the mailbox. Opening it as if it were rigged to explode, Twilight peered in. One magically mangled, then magically fixed mailbox later, Twilight Sparkle once again sat at her kitchen table with a cup of coffee and an unopened letter before her. Twilight projected her anger into this letter. What are the chances that the moment I go in to get coffee, the letter shows up? Her eyes tried to bore holes in the offending piece of paper. I mean, come on, she grumbled. She tore open the envelope and began to read. Dear Twilight Sparkle, you are my night sky. You are my stars, constant and ever-present, studying me with your light. You are my moon, captivating and stunning, always constant, always beautiful. You are my comet, amazing me with all you do. You are my north star, always there to guide me when I feel lost. You are my night sky, and I am trapped on the ground, always yearning to reach you, and yet never able. You are my night sky, and I hope that the dawn will never come. An admirer. Holy crap. Twilight's heart fluttered. Her legs shook, and her mouth hung slightly open. She was blushing heavily as she carefully rose it to her hooves, not sure if her body would support her. She walked slowly through her home, not focused on anything she passed. Up the stairs she went, opening the door to her room. She placed the letter down on her desk with the others. She walked over to her bed and let herself collapse into it. Her thoughts ran wild through the letters and through her feelings. They begged one question. Have I fallen for this pony? She asked herself, fearful of the answer. I don't even know who they are. I know nothing about them. I should be flattered, but it's something more than that. I feel more than I should when I read these letters. I feel warm inside like I do when I'm with my friends, and yet it's more intimate. She cast a glance over to where the letters sat, feeling the warmth inside her. If I find the pony who sent these, what will I do? Twilight Sparkle didn't know. Okay, wow, this is really getting good. I love it. Anyway, that was Chapter 3 of Letters from a Secret Admirer by Subsolar Drift. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.